So this week, a bit of a build update. We're going to have a quick look around at some vans. Bit of an issue which we'll come to in a bit, and then we're going to have a look at actually using the caravan for the winter. So we've hopefully looked at putting the caravan away for the winter, and now we're going to have a look at actually using it. So a lot more people, I think, starting to use the caravan all year round, so there's no issues with using the caravan all year round. But let's have a quick look at the build, see where we are. We'll have a look at a bit of a time lapse that might come towards the end after all of our tips, and then the time lapse a bit. So black one, just getting ready to get the floor done on that. The roof is potentially gonna go off to be done, so the top section, we've just got to scribe that and then get this floor in at the back. So we've got all the board in there to put the floor in, and then hopefully when the pop top roof comes back we can then start getting this one done, dusted. But it's all at the point ready to go. Lovely camper, so a nice auto, so lovely Autocruise Alto. This is 2015. So this has just come in. It's over at Garden Village at the moment. It was going over to Gailey, but I was running around here, there and everywhere, so I didn't have a chance to actually get it over. And again, I've not had a chance to get it over today, but 2015, it's the 6-speed Peugeot, manual aircon cruise, reversing camera. Yeah, got everything that you need really. 4 travelling seat belts, so that makes into a smaller little bed there. Proper fixed bed at the back, so have a look at that proper fixed bed. Really nice units on the side, and then our washroom on this side. So again, this is the sort of perfect thing, and a bit of caravan and motorhome. A lot of people like to go over to Europe for the winter, but obviously you've got to remember that you've only got 90 days to sort of stay there within the last 180 days. So if you've already been over to Europe, you've had a couple of weeks in the last 180 days, you've got to take that off your 90 days, otherwise you start getting into trouble. So but beautiful thing. And obviously we'd mentioned last week about the gas. If you're going over to Europe, this has got a gas low system on it, I believe, or a gasset one, so you can actually fill these up at the filling station. So that is okay. You can actually just go to the fill points and fill that up, but normal colour gas bottles you can't get over in Europe. So a lot of people then tend to use the camping gas. So if you've got a caravan, camping gas is available over in Europe, so that's probably a good way to go. And obviously if you've got a motorhome and you haven't got the safe fill bottles or the refillable bottles, then that's another option to do. This has got the nice Thule on this door, wind out awning, and as I say, it's done about just under 30,000 miles. It's got a tow bar on there, a reversing camera, so very nice. And there's the gas connection to fill up your bottles as you're going along. So as I say, just come in, just about to go on sale, and then probably next week we'll get that over. I'm up the sky then, I'm looking at the sky. This is why I don't video myself. So that is going to go over to Gailey. So camper build, we've got some supplying for the floor for the other one. Cabinets all done, so towards the end of this video we're going to be looking at how these have been done. I'll do a little bit of talkiness and sort of showing you how we do it, and yeah, pretty much at the point where it's going back in. The floor is done, all the cupboards are all cut out, so these are all done. We've got an eco-worthy battery in there, so that is a 12 volt 150 amp hour lithium battery, and that is going to charge up obviously from our solar panel on the roof. It will charge up from the engine as we're running, and then obviously as we plug in it will charge up as well. So little eco-worthy door sign off-grid inverter. So we've built that into the cupboard here. So this is going to have one of those slidey to ball doors on. Water tank, we've got our proper built-in water tank. You can see the wiring then off our pure sine inverter coming through, so they're going to then go to the battery. So that 12.8 volt 150 amp lithium iron phosphate battery will then power through the inverter, give us 1100 watts. So it will work even if we're off grid and we've got plenty of power to keep going. And then hopefully if we're in the sun, the solar panel is going to be charging that battery back up. Coming back around the rear section, so we've got a little door here then that goes in for storage, and then that gets us, we can see the eco-worthy inverter as well. About 130 quid those little inverters are. And then a little bit more storage. Next cupboard up then is our gas locker, so fully lined out gas locker, and again you'll see little bits of that being built. You can't see very well, the light's not great. And then a little cubby hole just up the top, just again a bit more storage. And then obviously we've got to get our rock and roll bed in. Just double check that that's actually fitting correctly. And then obviously everything can all be bolted down, everything can be all squared up, and hopefully happy days. So as I say, towards the end of the video I'm going to do a bit of a time lapse here showing you how we did the cupboards, how we do the tree trim, and how the different bits and bobs were done. So quite happy with it. It's took about a week to get to this point, just over a week to get to this point, and it's been not a steep learning curve, but it's been a learning curve nonetheless. So obviously looking to use our caravan now over the winter. We want to go away, we want to make sure that we get as much use out of our caravan as we possibly can. So we've talked about the gas. Obviously if you don't already use the propane gas bottles, we want to move on to the red gas bottles. Another thing that you can potentially do, it's not quite at the point at the minute, but it's going to start getting to that point where we might get our water pipe freezing up. So again, you can buy jackets for your Acrol outside, like an insulated jacket, and then maybe just a little bit of plumber's insulation pipe on your actual water pump, so that you know then that your water pump outside isn't going to freeze up. It's not going to cause any problems, you're not going to lose your water. Obviously inside the van, if you're using it, you're going to have your heating on, so that is then going to keep the water from freezing up within the caravan. But obviously we need to think about our water from the outside. Flush water for the toilet. Now you can put a tiny bit of antifreeze in your flush water in the toilet. The other option is just making sure that you use your heating vents in the bathroom. So make sure you get the heat in the bathroom, because if you've not got enough heat in the bathroom area, the tank, it's not outside, but it's sort of to the outside for that actual flush water. So you want to make sure that that's not going to freeze up, and then you're going to have an issue flushing the toilet. Again, only fill up your flush water about halfway. So if you use a litre bottle, that should be fine. If you sort of put half a litre in there, a little bit of pink chemical, and then at least if you don't put any antifreeze or anything in there, if it does freeze up or starts to freeze up, there's lots of room for expansion in there. So that's a nice little way. Don't overfill your flush water, just try and make sure that it is sort of half full but not completely full. Heating, again, if you've gone onto site and you're paying for your electric, just keeping it on a lower setting all the way through the night, and then that is going to sort of keep the caravan warm and stop things freezing up. Got the little Sprite Major 6 TD 2022 this is, I think, 19495. Again, nice family van. So again, if you're going away as a family over the winter, that we potentially take mud mats with us. So again, over the winter, we might, even over the summer to be fair, we've had times that we might have needed them, but having a couple of mud mats within the car, or storing them, the 6 berths are really good because you've got all the storage underneath of this back section here, or in your gas locker box at the front. But they do the yellow mud mats, so that if you do start to potentially sink in somewhere, you can put the mud mats out in front of the car. There's a little picture of them coming up now. You put those out, and it might just get you out of a sticky situation. If you go onto a pitch and you start to sink in, you can then just sort of put the mud mats on. It won't churn all the grass up, and it'll hopefully get you off the grass pitch and then back onto the road. It's not normally very far that you've got to sort of drive off of the pitch to go around, so hopefully just having a couple of mud mats in there. Obviously between use, so if you're going away and then you're coming back, make sure that we've drained the system back down again. So open up your water tank, so your yellow drain switch underneath, make sure that that is fully drained off, make sure your flush water is drained off, and then making sure all your taps are in the open position as well, so any snap frosts or whatever, it's not going to catch you out. Still sort of steady on the sails, so slowly moving stuff, but not as busy as it really should be for this time of year, in all honesty. So it's gone a little bit quieter. I think they had a decent NEC. Some motorhomes and caravans weren't too bad at the NEC. Some sales going through, so it's not dead on the sales. It is still ticking over, and I think most people have been sort of quite pleased with how things have gone at the NEC. So I think promising for next year. Again, we just need this weather to hold out now for us. Over this next couple of weeks, we're going to do more sort of using the caravan over the winter, getting ready. We might look at actually sort of taking the van abroad. A lot of people sort of do that, so we might look into that in a bit more detail as well, and that'll be coming up in the next couple of videos. So make sure that you've hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop us a comment if there's any other little tips there that you do slightly differently on the same sort of basis. But as I said, there will be more tips over this next few weeks about actually using the caravan as well. So if you've not already, have a look at our website for our current stock. We've got our site at Gailey and at Garden Village as well, so motorhomes potentially more over at Gailey, but as I say, we have got that little Autocruise, sorry, Alto over at Garden Village for the next week or so, and then it'll go over to Gailey. So if you're interested in that, come and have a look at it. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place. We'll have a quick look at the build now as that's progressed, and sort of try and get on with that, and then hopefully next week or the week after, looking to actually sort of get it in, done, finished, all put together, testing it through, and on sale. So look out for that. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place, and we'll see you next week. And so the build starts. Now, first of all, we've got to make our templates to be able to actually cut all the cupboard doors out. So just going around and actually making some templates up that we can use to cut the doors out. And we're using a 6.4 or roughly a 1/4 inch router bit. So you can see then we're going through the doors and making up. If we've made any little mistakes here or there, we can make up new doors. So then back inside and sort of we're going to cut out the area for the tabor door on that corner. So we've got half of that cut out. It's then putting it back in, making sure it all fits back in. A lot of sort of putting in and out, test fitting, making sure everything all lines up. And we wanted the worktops to then run into this opening for the tabor door. So you'll see us now starting to put that back together, getting the cupboards or the bottom base unit back in once we're happy with how this tabor door is going to work, and then just making sure everything is actually all lined up. So the kitchen unit from that cutout unit, so the kitchen unit will sort of run into there, that will run down to the kitchen area and then over the little fridge area. So again, little fridge unit is going in now, and they'll check all the levels, make sure that it's all going to run nice level, and true, and then it's actually sort of worked out how I'm hoping. I can now start to make the template for the worktop, so just marking out, I want this to sort of fit in, as I say, and the tabor door at the bottom where it's actually going to sit on this, so it's got to cut out and then fit, and then all around the little door posts. And these can just scribe around, obviously make sure that once that door closes that it's going to be fairly tight to the door, and that it's going to fit in properly. So once I've got this levelled out, I can actually mark this and put where the front edge of the worktop is going to be, and then later on we can sort of scribe in and get it 100% perfect. So I've sort of thought about actually doing the worktop now, but I've decided to leave it till afterwards. So now we can actually make the transformation and start getting the flooring down. We've got everything built, so I'm fairly happy with all the units, so it's actually just getting the floor line out, fitted in, literally just putting this in, making sure it's all nice and flat, and then cutting round all the little shapes, making sure it tucks underneath everything, so once all the units are in, all the beds in, etc., it's all just going to be nicely fitted, nice and flat, and then tucked in around everything. Once the floor's down, we can then start to look at getting that glued in. So I don't think we actually catch the floor getting glued in, but once we've got that correct, it will be then a case of getting everything fitted back in. So you can see now the units start to come back in, just to make sure that everything still lines up. I can then put little marks on the floor of where I want the furniture coming to it. You can see our Holy hydration and energy drink package has turned up to keep me going. So there'll be more information on those in a video soon. Camper van update. So we've got done hopefully a bit more time lapses, so you've sort of seen the floor going in, the cupboards going back in. Don't know whether I caught this being cut out, hopefully I did, a bit of shape and what have you, but I've got more products now that have come, so is that what's been holding me up a little bit is that I've not had the parts here to actually set things out fully, so I've been doing other things in between. So Eco-Worthy are the ones that have supplied us with our inverter, our charger, our lithium battery, I'm just waiting for the lithium battery, and then our solar controller as well. So we've got LED lighting, so this is our little control for sort of our lighting, mainly I think underneath of the cabinet and maybe above the kitchen area. So I'm thinking that this is going to go here. The one thing I have got to do is just measure out where the bed comes, just to make sure that that's not going to get in the way, but I'm thinking that's going to go there. Battery charger, that can go in with by the battery, and I just need to double check whether we're going to use that or not. I'm not 100% sure, so we'll see. And then our actual inverter, so this is an 1100 watt inverter, so off our lithium battery we'll have roughly 2 hours of use of 1100 watts. So this can be mounted now inside one of these cupboards, and then we've got a little control panel, got all of our wiring, fuses, it comes with everything. So 130 quid these were. I don't know whether Eco-Worthy have supplied us with a discount code, but to be fair with you, 130 quid for an 1100 watt inverter with control panel, to me seems really good value for money. Don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds good, doesn't it? So I've got the Eco-Worthy panel, so we're going to build up another panel here, which will have sort of a control panel. Oh, bit of Holy. So we've got our main solar Sargent control panel, which will sort of put our lights on, our power onto our lights, We can run off either leisure battery or vehicle battery, put the tap on and put the main control panel on. We've then got our eco-worthy for the power inverter, so that'll probably go above, and then obviously we're going to have a couple of sockets and a couple of USB points, and that's going to be about it. I don't think there's really going to be an awful lot more sort of to go on the panel. So that is going to be sort of set up roughly like that, and then, as I say, a couple of sockets here, and then maybe a socket on the front of the bedboard, maybe, or around this area, so that you've got power. The back door has got little lights in, so we've moved they were already in it, and the problem that we've had is some of the electrics are already in the system, so it's now trying to work out those electrics to work with our electrics and rewire or make sure that the wiring is half decent at least, and not a complete mess, and then we can actually use that. So we've got the switch on the backlight, so once that door's open, if it was a night time, you can turn those two little lights on individually, and you can control that from the engine battery or from the leisure battery once you've powered it on here. And then obviously we need another plug that will go here somewhere from our inverter. So that's about where we're up to at the minute. So it's now I can plan out where we're going to put our inverter. I'm thinking possibly in the back of this unit here, maybe low down or out of the way so it doesn't interfere with storage. So I've just now got to figure all that out. Control panel's nice and easy, as I say. That control panel's nice and easy. I think I've sorted that, so I think we're back on track to crack on. So now to start actually cutting a little groove in for the T-track, so it's just literally clamping everything down, going around with the grinder, with the router even, not a grinder. So we route out all around the units, and then we can start putting the T-trim on to all the openings and all the edges of everything. We've got one more door to cut out in the kitchen unit, so that all got clamped up and made a new template for that as well. And that's the big door for the kitchen. And then once they're all T-trimmed up, I can actually start putting hinges onto the doors and making it so that the doors open and close and fit, and then you'll see the little catches go on. Now a little bit later on you'll see the kitchen units going back in, but it's a little bit dark on the video, so you can actually see the finished sort of result. So in one of the future videos obviously we'll have a better look in the light. Quite easy, we're just using little P hinges that sit over the edge, and then sort of mark them up, a couple of screws in each side, and they fit really nicely. I've then made a little jig that's sort of lined up for my catches. So you'll see in a second now, mark out, jigsaw those out, and then fit the little catches in for each one of these doors. And then we're actually on to lining out the gas locker. So I wanted to use an aluminium frame or an aluminium lining on all of the gas locker. So just going around, trimming everything all off so the actual gas box all fits back together correctly, and I can start fitting it back in. That then will be all fully lined out, we can seal up all the edges, and that gas locker will be a sealed unit then, and we'll put a vent down through the bottom of the vehicle. Just in case there's any gas leaks, it can escape then down through and out of the vehicle. Gas will always drop and go to the lowest point, so with the drop vent then, that should be fine. Again, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching on Mark at the Caravan Place.